Your views on the performance of the NSE today, up from yesterday's closing figure of 4,424 points?
It was a marginal difference. Turnover actually declined marginally from yesterday, but we're still seeing a lot of local fund managers coming in to take up buy positions on certain counters such as Access, Safaricom, and there's also quite a bit of demand for Standard Chartered rights, but very little supply, which shows that the subscription they might get a good subscription. But the market generally remained stable as compared from the beginning of the week. There's not been a lot of trades basically, so we expect it to hold for the rest of the week.
All right, let's talk about the market movers, Kenneth. This week we've seen some recovery for Safaricom shares. Yesterday they were up at 2.13% and apparently continuing that trajectory. Have they reached a level where at least they can settle investors' minds and reach that psychological level of 5?
In fact, today about 8 million shares traded at 5 shillings. So we're seeing a lot of local fund manager demand, but also there are a lot of foreign investors playing both sides, both on the sale and the buy side. So we expect the recovery to continue, and with Safaricom recovering, it affects the rest of the market as well.
All right, the spotlight has fallen on Kenneth Minjire, the energy marketer. Yesterday that share lost 20%. How do things look for Kenneth Minjire today?
Actually, Kenneth Minjire actually gained today. Yesterday it went down to about levels of 880. So we saw people coming to take up buy positions, and with the announcement on Monday that they've gotten a stay from suspension of operations in the Kenyan market, I think we should see not quite a high demand, but it should recover sufficiently, maybe to levels of between 9 and 950 to 10 shillings.
All right, so is there clarity as you're referring to the stay, is there clarity as to a resolution with the energy regulator, Kenneth, on the fact that the energy regulator wants to revoke their license for breaching a contract? Is that issue resolved or looking to be resolved?
No, it's not been resolved yet. All that's happened is that the Kenneth Minjire got a stay on that suspension. So they're still working on it. We're hoping for a positive result.
All right, let's talk about Access Kenya. You mentioned them earlier on. They've announced plans to lay metro fiber for infrastructure across Mombasa. That should be relatively good news for the shareholders, but apparently it didn't sway the investors. Yes, true.
Sometimes the market is largely driven by sentiment more than fundamentals. So what happened, Access Kenya still held at the usual position of between 17 and 18 shillings. Although, and it has this, when it gets to a level of between 1850 to 19, we usually see people start to exit. So, but fund managers seem to be holding the counter above levels of 17. Every time it goes down to a bit 17, demand comes in from local fund managers.
All right, let's talk about the meeting of the Market Leaders Forum. They've decided to issue a 2-year bond. What is this forum and what impact will this decision have?
A 2-year bond should actually be well received by the market. There's been ample liquidity in the market over the past, 6 to 8 weeks. And market is quite positive about this. It's going to have a market-determined coupon. So this should actually, trading on the short end, we should see yields on the short end decline, albeit marginally.
All right, let's talk about the shilling. That's also been a talking point recently, tracking the euro. But there is a sense that the weakening of the shilling also has something to do with interventions by the central bank, who should be coming in to defend the shilling. What's your view?
What's been happening is that the central bank, I think this week, have only come in once. They came in on Monday. And today, actually, the shilling went up to about, weekend to about level of 81.40. But it's also due to, we've seen this week, there's been quite a bit of corporate demand. And we've also seen people taking up long dollar positions, going by the consistency that central bank has shown over the past over the past, let's say, 4 weeks, where they've been coming in almost every week. So this has this signaling effect, basically the market is starting to take up long dollar positions.
All right, and finally, Kenneth, let's just talk about the role of foreign investors on the Kenyan market. They've been a little reticent to enter the market, withdrawing their positions, profit taking and the like. What is the impact of this kind of reticence, and what needs to be done to restore confidence and say to the foreign investor, come back to Kenya?
Okay, I think I would disagree. Actually, what's been happening is that they've been on both sides, on both the buy and sell side. So, slowly, moving forward, as basically the economic growth takes impetus in 2011, we should see a lot more confidence from the foreign investors. But currently, it's been 50-50. Basically, they've been taking up both sides. They've been playing both sides of the market.
All right, thanks so much for coming through, Kenneth.